Yeah.
Yeah? Oh. Yeah?
I love you, baby.
I love you too. Who is that texting you?
Nobody, baby. Don't worry about it.
Nobody. It says Tina. Who the fuck is Tina? Who the fuck is Tina?
Bitch, you know what? Get your shit and get out.
You know what? I love you, babe, but maybe we should take a break.
A break? Maybe you should kiss my ass.
Sound familiar? You in a relationship and this shit ain't working. It's time for the truth. This is the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason has returned to Hot Button Radio. Listen, if you don't have your Dash Radio app already, you're a failure at happiness. I'm telling you, go to your iPhone, go to your Samsung, your Android, whatever, and download the Dash Radio app. It's free, just like the phone number I'm about to hand out is toll free. The number to dial is 844-55-1. That's 1-844-55-1. Again, as is commonplace for this show, it's a 2-hour broadcast. We have some of the most incredible, some of the most stupendous, some of the most riveting topics anywhere in the world because we're not afraid to talk about it. Today's topic, man, oh Manischewitz. Listen, before I give up the topic, I want you to go to Twitter because we love our Twitter interaction. Tweet me at Zoe Williams. I promise you, I'm going to get to your tweets and I'm going to read them during the show. I'm going to read them, not them, during the show. Today's topic, a crazy one. The art of raising bastards. A gripping look at single parenthood, absent fathers, and the state of illegitimate children. 844-55-1. That's 844-55-1. Can you raise a bastard to greatness? Ugh. Is it such a bad thing after all? A lot of people just say, oh, God, that child was born out of wedlock. He's destined for failure. She's destined for failure. Questions. How are these stats related? 72% of African-American children are born out of wedlock, as well as over 70% of African-American women are single, not married. 844-55-1. Get to your phone lines right now. The art of raising bastards, how about this, that are destined for greatness. A gripping look at single parenthood, absent fathers, and the fate of illegitimate children. True or false? Children in single-parent families are worse in terms of their behavior. Ugh. These motherfuckers can't be reined in. They don't have whatever balancing energy they need in that household. Is that true or false? Somebody call me right now. How is the feminist movement, divorce rates, welfare, judicial gender bias, and custody battles, how is that responsible for the increase of absent fathers in the African-American community? I like asking tough questions. You know I don't give two shakes of a fat rat's ass, but I need your opinion. I need your perspective. Single mothers, when is the right time to let a man, maybe it's an uncle, maybe it's a grandfather, maybe it's the dude you've seen currently, when is the right time to let him step in and take over the disciplining of your wayward male child from a previous relationship? 844-55-1. If you have any insight on this, I need your help. I need to know what the fans or what the audience has to say. It's very important that we connect with you. And don't forget, tweet. I'll read those tweets. Do single mothers of growing boys have to keep upping the aggression and physicality in order to maintain some level of control over them when daddy ain't around? Ugh, the art. Oh my God, the art of raising bastards. Let me see what my panel today thinks. My crack panel. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting in for Cheyenne Bryant is none other than the Leo homie, the outspoken, the opinionated, the intelligent, Neecole in the building. What up, Neecole?
Hey now, Zoe. Hey now, listeners.
Are you ready to tackle this topic? It's a crazy one, right?
I am.
Jesus. And none other than the wild child, the flower girl. All you got to do is put that D down and make some money.
What the?
And she might be happy with you. She's young. She's reckless. She's brash.
Do what I want.
She's Whitney Tabor.
Hey guys, what's poppin'? What it do? Yeah, shit's getting real today. Zoe always bringing that heat.
Come on, man. You know how we
It's
do.
hot in LA, but this show is a little hotter. I'm thinking. I don't know. It's about to get crazy. I think people's feelings might get hurt today.
Can the terms bastard or illegitimate child be just as hurtful and offensive as the N-word or other racial epithets? Oof. 844-55-1. Hell, the president is a bastard, isn't he?
Wow.
And he was raised to greatness, right?
Word.
Oof. Who wants to talk about it? Get to your phone lines right now, 844-55-1. Whitney Tabor, what are your thoughts on this topic?
Let's see. The topic, bastard to me, I feel like was never really a bad word, I guess, as far as, but my parents were definitely married when I came about into this world.
So you're legitimate.
I'm pretty legitimate. I think
You're a legitimate human being.
I am apparently better than you guys. Sorry. No.
I'm better by default.
No, when I actually grew up and learned the term bastard, it kind of upset me because if you really look at it, my father is considered a no. Actually, my pops, no. I think he's legitimate too, but
Jesus, just a
hold
lineage
on.
of legitimacy.
We're pretty legitimate over here, these Tabors, but no, he wasn't raised by his father, so that's what I was gonna tie it into. Is my dad, who was born legitimate, his dad dipped out as soon as he was born, and my dad is great. He's an awesome person. He's a great man. He raised 3 awesome, legitimate kids.
She's rubbing it in the face of all bastards right now.
But no, I think it's stupid.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if your parents were married, you can be a great person. I'm sorry.
Neecole?
Well, the term bastard is by definition nowadays considered to be an archaic derogatory term. Obviously, being a child born out of wedlock or illegitimate. But the original definition of it would be a scoundrel, a villain.
She did like this to you. Like she put up the cross.
She already knows.
This is a damn bastard sitting next to me. Shit.
Actually, I'm not a bastard. My parents are married for 38 years, and they were married when I was born. So
Team legitimate over here.
yeah,
Team legitimate.
because that's what they were doing back in the day. They were getting married, getting hitched, and having those babies.
Listen, I'm team bastard all day long. I was a bastard. Even though
You were?
my associate, yes.
Keyword were?
Yeah, I outgrew the term bastard.
Okay.
I started as a bastard, and then I grew up like, hey, this shit don't mean nothing.
Right.
844-55-1 is the number to dial. Who really legitimizes a child? A marriage certificate or the parents who created the child? Religion? God? Who legitimizes it?
I think that a child is legitimized by moral value and compass.
Interesting. Who writes those moral values? I'm always this way. If you're using moral values or a narrative that was written by someone else, you're a slave. But if you wrote those moral values and you have your own code, then you're a free person, in my opinion. We've got Veronica Conway on the line right now. Veronica.
Hey, y'all.
What's
Veronica.
up, boo thang? What's happening? This is a crazy show,
Well,
right?
you know, it's crazy. It's great. It's very illuminating. Your show today earlier was illuminating, too. So I'm glad you're tackling the root of things, because until we understand the root, then we don't understand the fruit. And so what we have out here is such a mess because of our lack of understanding about the origin of things.
Wow. So what's your ideation of the term bastard? Is it as offensive as the N-word? Can it be as offensive as the N-word?
Well, the thing is that the word bastard, you know, if you think about it, it derives from the term adultery, which was not even in use until recently. Because back in the day when things were natural, a woman it didn't matter who she slept with, who she had sex with, and because the man wasn't given the prominence that he's given today.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, the egoic mind wanted to know so deeply what was going to happen to its property after it left the planet that it needed to get the woman's sexuality under control so that it could control the bloodline. But prior to that, the man wasn't that important as he's made out to be today. I mean, women were having sex with whoever they wanted to, whenever they wanted to, and there wasn't even a word for father. There was the closest approximation was the word uncle. Because somewhere when the community would raise a child, the woman was pretty sure that the father was in the tribe somewhere. Okay?
Wow.
But,
wow.
But now, because things are all upside down and backwards, and understand that the whole thing about adultery and the notion of adultery is really for the purposes of control. So if they can get you all jammed up and guilty about your sexuality and the results of your sexuality, then they can control you and feed you language so that you assign meaning to the word child and somehow invalidates that child. But there's nothing that is of God that is invalid.
Well, let's do it this way.
I don't care what the state says. I don't care what the church says. I don't care what they say.
So let me say this, Veronica. Listen, Veronica, come on, baby boo, follow me, boo thing. You know I love you, Veronica. I love you.
What is happening? What's happening
What's going on with Zoe, right? Zoe and Veronica, right?
What's happening?
No, but Veronica brings up a great point. But I would say this. If we're listening to Neecole today, and we're taking what Neecole said, and that is, you can't illegitimize a child. It's just like calling a child a bastard is just like calling a child a nigga. All right? It's a slur. It's a slander to the child, right? So if that's the case, why is the black community making such a big deal out of single mothers? 72% of all children born out of wedlock. What's the big deal then? Go deeper?
I don't necessarily feel like the black community makes a big deal out of it, considering that they are the pioneers of it, you know?
Ooh.
And not only that, there's a tremendous amount of variables that come into play when you have to look at that. There are 2.7 million children with parents in jail that are born out of wedlock.
How about it?
The percentage on that is ridiculous.
Right.
But I want to bring up one more point, though. 48% of white women in jail are mothers, and that is the highest demographic of parents.
Hey, don't you ever talk about the white woman, okay? She's on a social pedestal that is beyond reproach.
But see, the thing about being in jail is you're supposed to be the bottom of the barrel while you're in jail, right?
Wow.
And
Not the white woman.
It just so happens that the white woman tends to have more kids when she's incarcerated because they are the bottom of the barrel.
Twitter is on fire right now. The Twitter account is blowing up again. My Twitter account is @ZoeWilliams. Go follow me and tweet. Sinister Mephisto. He's always commenting. I like his comments. He says, no one legitimizes anyone. No one needs to be legitimized. And I tend to agree, right? Ishmael on Twitter says the child is legitimate. The child is legitimate. The sex act between the two individuals could be illegitimate. Ooh, what is he saying? I like that. You motherfuckers is fornicating? That's an illegitimate sex act. Yet the child itself is legitimate. 844-55-1. That's the number to dial. 844-55-1. This is the Voice of Reason on Hot Button Radio. Again, if you don't have the Dash Radio app, you gotta download it in order to hear this show. That's the only way you can do it. It's important that you do it right now. Anyway, More Twitter. Thinking of you on Twitter says, do some unwed mothers simply have a child to make their own existence easier through government assistant programs? Are kids the hustle?
Yes.
844-55-1. Ugh.
Well, that's what.
Ugh. Go ahead.
I think that's what you were. Well, as far as my looking at the situation, why Black people are upset about all the Black single mothers. I don't think that they're worried about because they're having bastard kids. I don't think anybody cares about that they're bastard kids. I think that they're mad that they don't have anybody to help raise them kids. Wow. That's why I think the Black community and the Black women are upset about the bastard kids that are being made. Is who's going to help me take care of this little bastard?
But wow. 844-55-1. Here's my thing. Don't make family building the moral choice and the right choice when you made a bad choice in the sexual act. Don't try to be a family builder now that you've made a mistake. See, a lot of times males get the brunt of the blame. Well, you responsible. You shouldn't have came in or you shouldn't have did this. That's true. However, don't turn into Mary Poppins just because you got something in the oven, which is something you didn't really want either.
When you could have swallowed those babies.
You could have swallowed those babies. 844-55-1. The phone lines is getting crazy. We got people on Twitter tweeting. It's just crazy right now. Let me see who's on the line right now. LB, holla at me, brother.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's happening, man?
Hey, so just on this topic, I feel like bastards are produced by the court system, and how women will run to the court system looking for help, and then sort of the father will tell you like, "Look, I really don't want to have this kid in the first place." You know?
Oh no, you gonna have him. We got a family now. God damn it.
Right. And like, well, I'm gonna go to the court system, put him on papers. You know, he paying the child support, but really don't want to be in the child's life. Don't
you think it should be the opposite? Do you think that the emotional support is more valuable than the financial support?
Wait.
Absolutely.
Wait. Hold on. Absolutely. LB, this is good stuff. I think I'm going to ask you to hold on the line. Don't hang up. Because now we getting into some meat and potatoes. Now, listen, the real currency in a family building situation is presence. Is participation.
Exactly.
Right? But what if a bastard is born from the baby trap? The baby trap is a hustle to put a man through the court system so you can lock him into the child support system, which is an unforgiving system. The baby trap has birthed a gang of bastards. Ugh. 844-55-1. We got to take a quick break, but when we come back, the art of raising bastards is our topic. You know it's crazy up in here. We about to have a party during the break. I'll be back at 2.2, Voice of Reason, hot button. Ladies and gentlemen, oh God, the Voice of Reason. That's that new Kendrick. Woo, Kendrick Lamar is smacking us upside the dome piece with that fire. And listen, the Voice of Reason is talking about some real science today, too. The art of raising bastards. Are bastards destined to fail? Are bastards born losers? Well, like I said, I mean, Barack Obama's a bastard, right? Somebody verify that for me. Did Barack Obama, did his father marry his mama? Or was that just an African brother getting him a little slice of that coconut water, you know, and produced him a little hybrid brother, and maybe he rose to the heights because of his mixed heritage, right? I don't know. Somebody talk to us about that.
You know, who was it? Was it Kevin Durant, right? Won the MVP a couple years back, and his speech, I mean, I'm not 1,000% sure on my little research, but I'm pretty sure he didn't have a father in his life at all, and that's where that "you the real MVP" came, right? Because he straight up shouted his mom out like, "My single mother raised me," and he's now doing his thing. So I think the bastard thing is kind of
This is good.
stupid.
This is good. So now you're talking about the strength and the capability of a single sister being able to raise, right?
Yeah.
A strong brother or a strong little sister. Now, a lot of brothers will say, first off, men are being marginalized through that narrative by saying, I could do it without you. Now, just because a woman is capable of doing it without you doesn't necessarily mean she wants to do it without you, or doesn't necessarily mean not only that she wants to do it without you. Well, some sisters are like that.
But
I was going to give them some credit, but some sisters are like that. We have to be honest. There are some sisters out there that will be like, fuck you, I got this. This is my baby.
I agree, but sometimes I do feel like two parents might not be a good idea, because if the dad is an idiot, we gonna have some stupid kids, because he's the real guy who's supposed to train these kids right, whoop-de-whoop, and vice versa. If we got a mom who's out here turning up and just ratchet Annie, we don't want her around here sprinkling that on these little bastards.
Hey, here's some quick stats. Children are at 80% greater risk of suffering serious injury as a result of child abuse when the dad is absent.
What was the stat? Yeah.
80% of the children, right? Children are at 80% greater risk of suffering serious injury as a result of abuse when dad is absent. That's telling me mama is abusive. 844-55-1.
You didn't necessarily say where that abuse is coming from.
Hey.
It could be stepdaddy who came in
it
trying to...
It could be boyfriend. It could be moms at work trying to
That's mama's
provide.
cosign on that check.
It could be moms at work trying to provide for the child, and the child has, child care.
And she can only afford that mean old nanny who
Well, the
beat
second
them.
part of that question is, what does this stat say about mom? Because if it's a stepdaddy, if it's a boyfriend, if it's any of that bullshit, they got through the crib via the gateway. The gatekeeper is mama. 844-55-1. Veronica, would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, there's a few things. I want to just circle back real quick to the whole welfare thing, because we have to understand that initially welfare in the United States was not intended for black people. In fact, black women were excluded from the welfare system. It was designed for European immigrants.
There you go.
Single white women.
I didn't know that.
And not the ones in jail.
Give charity and restore order in urban communities. Right? So black women were initially excluded from welfare, and when they did a poll back in 1931, 3% of the welfare rosters were black because they were excluded. The black suffragists came in and advocated and lobbied to have black women included in that. So that's let's just start there. When you start, so we got to understand the origin of all this stuff and how, because see, until we understand the root of something, it's very difficult to understand how the condition has manifested itself. We can't tell because we don't understand the source of things. So that's one thing.
Right.
The second thing is that in a sane culture, I mean, we've been driven insane by the dominant culture. In a sane culture, it's deeply understood that people have sex, and when people have sex, babies get made. The fact that we as a community have collectively are failing to take responsibility for the community will only be our undoing. In other words, if a woman has a baby alone or a man has a baby alone, the community is supposed to rally around and provide and take care of the village, because it is a village. And if you don't take care of the village, then you'll experience the results of that.
Wow. So listen. Listen, Veronica. Hold on 1 second, baby. You know how I like to do. Bite size, boo. Bite size. Smack them in the mouth.
Oh.
Okay. You know how I like to do. We got the phone lines. They jumping off like crazy right now. Let's get some callers in here. Has the rise of cohabitation as a popular relationship model, right, or family model, has that led to higher rates of single parenthood? A lot of people just say, you know, we don't need to get married. Let's just live together and raise the kids. Right. And that's been, to a lot of people, that's a successful model of building building families.
Unfortunately, that is not the model that's being used based on the census.
That's true. True or false? The welfare system is anti-family. anti-father, but pro-mother and child. The phone lines are up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lips, holla at me right now.
Hey, y'all.
Hello. What's up, Miss Lips?
What's up? Can y'all hear me?
We surely
Loud and
can.
clear. Sounding good, girl.
Good. I'm feeling real good right now. But on topic, I really think we lost our uncles and we lost our aunties in the black community. Like, when your mother and your father can't make it, they should rely on their siblings to help the family. We lost that structure. We lost it through the heavy drugs in the 60s, 70s, and 80s to the crazy 90s. We lost grandma. Right. Grandma gone. And then you got certain religions that break families. Like, I know everybody heard of Jehovah's Witness knock on your door. That religion will break a home up.
Ooh.
If a mother goes to the Kingdom Hall and the family doesn't agree in that, she was shown her children. She will leave her children. They, at the Kingdom Hall, kind of make her feel like, well, you don't really have a family. They rip up homes too.
That's good stuff. That's
and
good stuff.
I know for a reason. I know for a fact that this happened because it happens to my family. I lost my family to the Kingdom Hall and to drugs. You know what I'm saying?
That's two. Who said it? Oscar Wilde. Religion is the opiate of humanity. Right? Was that Oscar Wilde who said? Somebody find out who said that quote. Look it up. We got so many people out there. Was it Karl Marx? Is the opiate of humanity religion? So if you own drugs and you own religion, shit, you are addicted in such a way. That's so crazy. Get to your phone lines really quickly. 844-55-1. Hey, Miss Lips, I just want to say thank you for reaching out. It's always good to hear your voice. I really appreciate you when you call. You always drop science. You always tell the truth, and we appreciate you. LB, I want you to finish your thought, brother, before we move on to the next caller, because the phone lines is jam-packed right now. What's happening?
Hey, I just wanted to ask you a question. I hit you on Twitter a while ago about putting your radio show on iTunes, on the podcast, because it's free. I just want to know if you put any thought into it. If not,
Hey, man, I appreciate any suggestion, any help, any support. I appreciate whatever it is you offering right now, man. If I need to put it on iTunes, tell me what to do. I will do it, man. Thanks again for the call. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. How does a general unpreparedness and poor partner choices lead to single parenthood? Bastard factories. 844-55-1 is the number to dial. We got Mike from D.C. on the line. Mike, what's the word, man?
Hey, what's up, Zoe? Hey, what's up, ladies?
Hello. What up?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm going to make this quick. I just think what will make it better for black families in the community, I just think when you lay up in a bed and you're going to reproduce another child between a man and a woman, you need to set a foundation that your family and your whatever you make with a child, whatever you make to reproduce a child, you should set a foundation like no matter what, love is going to be our foundation. Because a lot of women think that just because you have a baby with a guy, they think that substantiates a union between you and that guy. No, that only substantiates a union between you and that child.
Ooh.
So no matter what happens, you still have to do what's best for your kids. So we break up, forget what happened between me and my baby mother. We need to buy into the future of our kids and start harping and having these grudges and axe to grind on between me and the other person, me and the other partner.
Wow. This is good stuff, man. I appreciate the call. Thanks, Mike.
I definitely, I agree with a little bit of what Mike was saying. I feel people just hop in the bed, do their thing. They don't really think about all of the responsibilities and the roles, and then they just assume you're the man, me the woman. I do man stuff, you do woman stuff. Well, maybe man and women stuff is different in our both of our heads. Let me just finish this one little blurb. One thing I feel like is men. This is me, this is just my opinion. I feel kind of men feel so quick or entitled that they can just dip because it's a woman's job to take care of that baby. So, I mean, honestly, I can just go make another one because she was crazy. So let me just dip off and try to find another girl to, you know, make a perfect family, which is not going to happen.
Well, I think a lot of the baby making comes from social economic development, the lack of, therefore, non-planning of the conception of a child, more so urban communities, ghetto communities, which is where tend to be more children, because at the end of the day, what do they say? You get two ghetto people together and they're going to do some ghetto ass shit. Who else would have a baby with no money?
I'm not doing it.
Here's a question. Do you think the hookup culture that we're currently living in is primed for a bastard baby boom?
Yes. That's a heavy little
We're
question.
living in a hookup. We live in a hookup culture right now.
I'll say yes, just because statistically things are changing. We have more out of wedlock teens, and we have more teenage pregnancy now than ever, which is ironic considering the day and age we live in with sexually transmitted diseases.
True.
And the knowledge that we have on AIDS awareness in terms of having unprotected sex, which leads to procreation.
There's so many birth controls out there. There's like, I don't even know.
But you got to remember now, we damned if we do, we damned if we don't. Birth control is a staple in the black community. But the reason why it's a staple in the black community is to control the population.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go back to the original history of Planned Parenthood, you're talking about Margaret Sanger, who was a eugenicist, and her purpose was to euthanize the black community because she saw them as dumb, ignorant, and unproductive and unuseful and not useful to society as a whole. So it was born out of the eugenics movement.
That's crazy.
This is why when you go to the hood, you see church, liquor store, and Planned Parenthood. You can't,
or just church and liquor store.
No, you gonna find Planned Parenthood, no
there.
question. So you listen. There are very few Planned Parenthoods in the very nice neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be honest, they all in the neighborhood.
Well,
eugenics is part of the movement.
I think the nature of it transitions into a psychological issue, because statistically, it says that children in single parent homes have more psychological problems. They tend to drink more. They tend to test lower.
True.
And infinitely, they have a higher suicide rate than children that come from two parent homes.
But see, this is why you don't fuck a person you hate. Because if you fuck somebody you hate and you get pregnant, now the cooperation that is required in order to raise a sane child is not going to happen. This is why men should do a better job at selecting women based off of their sanity and not their vanity.
Word.
Veronica?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, we've talked about this on a couple of previous shows. I mean, discernment is everything. I mean, I think there needs to be a man code where men are not having, lying to women. Because if you have sex with a woman that you're lying to, you're impregnating her with your consciousness. That's the first thing. So if you're going to
say more,
you're going to keep getting crazy women. You're going to keep getting crazy women. If you're lying to her, before you lie with her, you're going to be transferring your consciousness of lying into her. That's just the way energy works in this energy world. Okay? So that's the first thing. So if men want to actually take responsibility for their portion of it, I'm not saying it's all their responsibility, it's our global responsibility as a community. But if men want to take responsibility for their part of it, they got to stop lying. And feeding her with lies so they can get some pussy.
Men don't take control of their bestial sexual libido to even start. They're the highest individual as predators. They're the highest individual in terms of pedophile. They're the highest individuals in terms of rape. They're the highest individuals in terms of homosexuality. They're the highest individuals in terms of cheating. So all of this is relegated back to one instance, their penis. Boom.
Okay, so you're talking about a type of man?
I'm talking about...
So let's not put a blanket license. Let's
all,
not put it like you're all this way bestial. First off, masculinity, manhood is about dick balls. It's about fucking.
Are we gonna listen to this?
He said balls. I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying that's what it is. But with anything, you have your sane version of that, and you have your insane version of that, and you have millions of degrees in between. So what we don't want to do is make a blanket statement that somehow male masculinity is somehow immature and out of control and radical. You understand what I'm saying?
I do understand.
We have
what
to
you're saying.
differentiate. There are some wild motherfuckers out there.
I've literally
Wild.
pointed out areas in which they were leaders and pioneers in those specific areas relative
women-
to sexuality.
Well, listen, moms are leaders and pioneers in abusing children when dad isn't there. So we could lean on that too. Veronica?
I was going to say.
Oh, this is
something
good
about-
shit. I love it. This is hot monkey grease.
Women have got to be more discerning and raise their standards about what they will allow into their bodies, and be very clear to judge a man not by what he says until it is proven that what he says is what he does. That's the first thing. We have to be discerning about that. And I think, unfortunately, if women typically, when they've grown up in single family households, without a man, what typically happens is a woman tends to go out and look for a man. What she's really looking for is love and attention, the love and attention that she missed from her father. But she settles for its closest proximity, which is some Negro filling up her head with a bunch of lies.
But see, everybody doesn't have.
Down.
Everyone doesn't have daddy issues, and you can be more discerning, but it's all about you sticking to that truth and lying to your eyes, because an individual will show you exactly who they are. It's up to you to believe that.
Twitter's on fire. Let me hit some Twitter right now. It's on fire. The feminist sex positive stuff is detrimental to the black community. The village is gone for good. This is thinking of you. At the adjuster 7 just hit me with that. Another brother Q, I think it's at Rub Bix. I don't know how to say the rest of it. Can we get some normal fucking handles? He says true, because a female can't get certain government benefits if their man is in the household. Talking about the absence of the man. That's a feminine concept of or not a general feminine concept, but a radical. This is like the jihadist version of feminism. Their version is a man is dispensable, disposable. We can use them for what we need them for and then get rid of them. Keep tweeting me at Zoe Williams. We want to respond to all of these tweets. They're on fire right now. It's getting crazy right now. Sinister Mephisto is back again. He says, actually, the data says women are the highest predators of child abuse, or the highest perpetrators of child abuse, not men. That's Sinister Mephisto.
I was going to say, I want to touch on that. I peeped that on the timeline. I was going to say, are women the highest abusers of children because they feel they need to be that strong man figure in that child's life? Like, this kid is lacking that strength, so let me smack him around like his dad probably would have if his dad was around.
But see, that to me, that's barbaric and Neanderthal-like in the sense that if you cannot intellectually connect with your child, right, and you have to physically force your child to be able to do something, that shows that you are unrefined as a parent. Now, let me say this. Let me say this about corporal punishment in that sense. If you're a woman raising a boy who just crossed the threshold into puberty, you better keep your fucking hands off of him. Because at some point, he's going to be bigger and stronger than you. And especially if he doesn't have any male compass, you're going to be like, at some point, mama, don't put your motherfucking hands on me again. He going to raise up. Because boys raise up to their dads. And dads have to slap them down, and then they go, hey, I remember. But when I say slap them down, I don't mean violently. All a boy has to do is see and sense that is a side of my father's aggression and anger that I ain't never seen. I don't want no parts of him. And once he sees that, he backs down. Yeah, it's just like animals. If listen, bears don't want to fuck with each other because they know if I fuck with you, if we got to fight, even if I win the fight, the injuries I may sustain in that fight might kill me later on. Mm-hmm. So we posture. Sometimes a father just has to posture with his child, especially a male child, and he'll know I ain't ready for that level of aggression. But when the father is absent and then the mother has to take that on, it creates this imbalance because the nurturer has to become the enforcer. Go ahead, Whitney.
That's what I was about to say. Is I have a friend, single mom, but the dad actually wanted to be with her, and she chose to be the strong, independent, I don't need you, whoop-de-whoop. Now she has a 2-year-old. Everybody's saying he's going to be a little sissy because he's with his mama all the time. He's going to be a sissy. So now she's always roughing him up, and I'm like, yo, you're still his mom. You need to, like, nurture him. But that's one thing I notice in single mothers where they say, if you treat him like, you baby him too much, he's going to be a little sissy, and he's going to get beat up and this and the other. So they overcompensate the smackdowns and all that. So
listen, we got to take a quick break. The phone lines are on fire. 844-55-1. We want to hear from you. 844-55-1. The big black bird says, when you lack the ability to take ownership for your emotion, regardless of your gender, you will turn to abuse in some form. Mike Bowie on Twitter says, a big reason for the big number in single mothers in our community, African American community, is there is a financial incentive. Section 8, WIC, food stamps, school, all of that. But don't forget, the people who get most benefits are white people in middle America. We got to take a quick break. I'm talking about raising bastards. Are you raising one? You want to talk to me about it? Call us 844-55-1. We'll be back in 2.2. Hot Button, the VOR, voice of reason, Hot Button Radio. Man, Dash Radio in the building right now. It's on fire. You're listening to Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. I'm sitting here right now with my girl, Whitney Tabor, and my other homegirl, Neecole. We in the building right now. This is the voice of reason, the relationship help desk. We're not afraid to tackle any conversation. We're not afraid to tackle anything. If you need any tips, because this is what I do. My homeboy who brought me over here, Jeff, was telling me, man, you gotta get back into your pocket where you actually helping people, because that's your wheelhouse, where you're helping people. If you're a single mom, if you're a single father and you need tips on how to do it, on how to communicate with either it's the non-custodial or, the custodial parent, somebody holler at me right now. The number to dial is 844-55-1, 844-55-1. Let everybody know that we taking phone calls. Again, Twitter, I can't keep refreshing fast enough. There's so many Twitter responses going down. The big black bird or beard says, my mom fucked me up because she couldn't fuck my father up. Ooh. 844-55-1. Andrew Roberts at Big Stevie 23 says, Zoe, if a woman can never teach her son how to survive in the wilderness, only a spiritual man could. I'm not really sure what he means by that, but sounded good enough to me. We're going to keep it rolling. Sinister Mephisto is back. Most of the abuse is not discipline related. They try to blame it on depression, postnatal, etc., etc. I mean, he's breaking it down, man. I mean, there's a lot of good information. The tweets keep coming in. Miss Lips, I see you. Says, oh, God, I ain't going to read that. What did she say?
But you know what you can do? You can call in at 1-844-55-1.
D from Maryland, you're on the line right now. Holla at me.
Hey, what's up, Zoe? What's up, ladies?
What's happening?
Hey, yeah, so I had a question I wanted to ask, and I was like, do you think the difference between I guess the structure of the family building back in the day was, I guess back in the day, the families whenever they had a conflict between custody or kids or spouses, back in the day, the families took care of it, and the court systems was the last option. So do you think they switched it up now? Like, the courts is the first option, and they don't give a chance to let the families work out the problem.
I think that's a great point. as I stated in the last show on Friday, my lawyer homegirl said it very succinctly. She said the court is only there to clean up the mess your family is incapable of doing. And when they clean up the mess, they clean with acid, whether you clean with bleach, right? When they pour acid in your tub to get the ring out, they destroy the whole tub. So the metaphor is there's a win-loss situation when you bring the court in. And up until recent times, now the court has shifted to mediation. Because when it was just lawyers are trained win-lose. I'm trying to win for my client and I'm trying to kill the other client. And lawyers don't deal in truth. They deal with a legal paintbrush. If I can paint a picture better than the prosecution, I win. You see? So they're not trying to
ask the ladies a question. Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah, you can ask a lady a question. Go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
No, it's all good. Go ahead, Pam. You already did it. Go ahead.
Question: Do you think ladies? You think the thing they fear most is letting the guy handle his business and taking responsibility? Do you think that she fears the most is like she doesn't really want to delinquish the control because she doesn't have control. She doesn't have any more bargaining chip. Do women fear that the most about letting men step in and do their part?
Veronica Conway, answer that question.
No, I don't think that women fear that. Here, the reality of raising a child. I mean, if we're going to get real with our community and say that we're going to address what we need to do, the reality of raising a child is that it takes $300,000 to raise a kid from 0 to 18 with no college, and it takes about $90,000 a year in effort. In other words, if you were to pay somebody to do all of the tasks that it takes to raise a child, it's about $90,000 a year. That means that every child that gets born into this world, it takes about $2 million either in hard currency or in effort, and that's by the Department of Labor Statistics. So if we don't address that, in other words, if a woman's not doing $2 million per kid, if a man's not doing $2 million per kid, either in effort or in funds, then there's going to be a leakage to that kid. And so that's just the reality. And rather than battle about it, why not get aligned about it so that we can address it as a community? We're a $1.2 trillion economy. If we were to just simply face that head on and begin to deal with it, we'd be in much better shape.
Good point. Neecole?
I agree.
Listen,
hey, thanks for the call, brother. We
call
appreciate
in with
it.
your bastard success stories at 1-844-55-1.
Wow. Really, Neecole? Bastard success stories.
Call in.
Yo, who was raised by a single mother or single dad and you turned out okay? Talk to me about the strength of your mama. How she was able to do it without dad. And how you went to college. How you succeeded. How you're a well-rounded, functioning, good person, and you didn't have your dad or you didn't have your mom. 844-55-1. Man, bastard success stories coming up. Let's do it.
You know what? I have one. It's not mine, but a good friend of mine, I'm not going to put them on blast, but a girlfriend of mine in college, grind. She used to turn up, get crazy, whatever, but she had a conversation with her dad who was not really involved in her life for no reason. He actually remarried and had a perfect little family life, but she now runs a few big companies in Seattle, has her own 2 children that she's basically raising on her own as well. So I don't believe in the you're a bastard so you can't succeed in life story. I think that's kind of a weak excuse, bruh. Just saying.
Wow. Let's do it. Somebody call us right now. Bastard success stories. We want to know what the hell is going on in your life. Well, did you turn out okay? So what? Like Whitney said earlier, some parents don't need to be in the same damn house. Some people need to get the hell away and you need to meet them at the park somewhere, right? Call in with your bastard success story. 844-55-1. Andrew from Las Vegas, LV. Holla at me.
Hey, Mr. Williams. How
What's
you
happening?
doing, sir?
I'm chilling, brother. What's happening?
Okay. I basically grew up in Lansing, Michigan. My father died when he was 37 at age. He died at 37. He had a brain tumor. And my mom basically raised me from age 14 on up. It wasn't too hard for her. She basically had to wear the pants and the apron, and she put the foot down where it need be. And
did she complain about it?
No,
did she complain about it, Andrew?
No, she didn't complain about it at all. I mean, we did what we had to do, and that's the bottom line.
And what have you made of yourself to date?
I'm not gonna.
You got a job?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I mean, I had 5 regular ed classes. I had a special ed class. I had a special ed class for 12 years. I graduated at on time with the rest of my class. So
sounds like you made it through.
You definitely did.
Yeah.
It sounds like you did okay, man. Considering.
And
Sounds
shout out
like
to
you
your
made it
mom.
through.
Right,
Yes.
Really. Shout out to your mom.
Real
All
life.
What's up, Whitney?
Right. Listen, man, I love it when people call in, man, and just tell us the truth and they feel compelled to do so.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate that. 844-55-1. Call us with your bastard success story. If Barack can do it, I'm sure a lot of other people got great stories. Listen, we can reclaim bastard for show. It don't have to be a negative term. It doesn't have to be a disparaging, denigrating term, does it?
Not at all.
No.
Hey, especially if you can point to markers in your life that are successful, like you've overcome, regardless of the circumstance. Listen, a challenge is really a ramp. A lot of people don't understand that. A challenge is a ramp. Now, when you avoid the challenge, you know what happens? You don't get better. You stay on a level playing field. And when I say a level playing field, it's just flat. You're just on a flat plane. But the challenge is designed to elevate you. That's all challenges are for. They're ladders. 844-55-1. Again, call in with your bastard success story.
I was going to say
844-55-1. We got Hecka activated on the line. She just chiming in. Hecka, I know you've been listening to this show. You cannot tell me this show ain't crazy right now.
Yes, this show is so crazy. I have been listening. Quite interesting, to say the least.
Talk to me. I mean, if I can, because I know you. Talk to me about what it means.
Yeah, and of course, my views are going to be quite different from the majority. I totally agree with the idea of a village raising a child, and here's why. I honestly feel that we put way too much emphasis on the parents that birthed the child, when in actuality, the soul actually chooses the experience.
Ooh.
And the parents are chosen by the soul as a catalyst to enter into this realm. Mm-hmm. Now, hold on, this is not at all an idea that suggests that everyone decides to be irresponsible when it comes to their children. I'm not saying that. However, I feel like instead of us focusing so much energy on single-parent homes, that perhaps we should try to understand the roles that we each need to play in that soul's life as it enters into this realm.
No, that's good shit. That's
Mm-hmm.
mojo right there. That's good shit.
I absolutely agree with that, because if you take into account your own personal accountability with raising your child, we may not have so many kids picking up guns and going to school. Ooh. We may not have so many kids going out and shooting each other at parties. We may not have so many kids not graduating from high school and achieving any sort of goal or success. We may not have so many kids on drugs. And these are all situations that cause individuals to not be a successful part of society, no matter how many parents you had in your household.
Listen. At one mad investor, Sherman Lowry, he said, don't know where to begin on this subject, but the vetting process is huge and cannot be understated. Both genders, male and female, we must make better choices. Whitney Tabor.
Well, definitely everything. Yes to that.
Right.
Well, I'm tapping back into what Neecole just said. I feel like it comes down to respect. If we all taught each other more respect as far as our children respecting adults in my community where I grew up on a reservation. I know everybody. I know we're all cousins. Like it's a whole, just literally 20 kids in my school. Respect your elders is the realest thing. Like if I'm 28 years old right now, and if I went and said something crazy to my neighbor, my great grandma would just pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, if children had the respect that we did back in the day for all adults, not just our parents, I don't think kids would be shooting each other and beating each other up and all that for no reason.
Hey, Miss Lips hit us upside the head with another heater. She says there are more bastard children that are better off than some married family children.
Well, that's going to be in all instances because you have different types of kids and different types of individuals raising those children. So you're destined to have some bad apples out of every bunch.
So again, the reason why they push marriage, the reason why government pushes marriage, everything hinges upon the economy. If you have responsibility at home, that means you better get a job. But you can't get a job unless you have a degree. I mean, this is how they all hold hands.
Okay, well, let's talk about that.
Right? The infrastructure of the country is all tied.
Let's dig into the infrastructure of this country and the government in terms of that. Being that all of these platforms are different foundations for financial gain, right? Let's ask ourselves this question. Why does the government not promote education, reform, or any sort of rehabilitation in terms of getting people out there to get them work, to get them educated? But what they do promote is the business of incarceration.
You ready? Ready for the answer?
Get them.
Because it's money.
You ready for the answer?
Hit them, so.
This is the answer. And then I'm going to go to Veronica because I know Veronica got an answer for this too. Listen, your income bracket is your life cubicle. They don't want you to get outside that fucking cubicle, that 1%. Income cubicle. This is how the 1% stays the 1%. This is how the 99% stays the 99%.
Well,
we gonna set your ass up with an employee mentality, right? With a cog mentality, and you're gonna be smart enough just to maintain where you are.
Well, last year we built more private prisons than we left open schools. We closed more schools than we built prisons.
But you have to understand. That is by design.
Yeah.
And who is affected more by that design than African American males?
It's a social economic.
The prison or the preschool to prison pipeline. They setting this up. The same people that are making your food at lunchtime when you at school is the same company that gives you chow in the chow line in prison. This is all by design. Could you come on in here, Veronica, and tell us some more about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a direct casualty of that. My daddy was a Panther, and my daddy's been in prison. He was a Black Panther, and he's been in prison for 40-plus years. He's still in prison, illegally. And so I grew up, inside of the prison system, watching what happens. And he talks about how the prison system has changed so dramatically because of the way that they've redefined the sentencing laws, the way that they redefine everything. They're actually they've changed prisons so that people go in longer, stay longer. There's no parole. It's all been designed to really capture the Black man, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, so it is all about economics, and the prison industrial complex is a real machine, not only in the context of it taking away our men, but one of the other things that it does is it takes away the right to vote and skews the vote because if you build a prison in a white rural area, right, then what you do is the inmates can't vote in elections, but they are counted as a part of the population for that white rural population. So they actually rig the voting by building prisons and putting them in white rural communities. So prisons are an economy.
Absolutely. Well, I do want to make one statement about the rulings. When Obama got elected into office, he did sign into legislation a new rule devoting the rules of law of, crack cocaine, which was killing our urban area and genociding black men by sending them to jail. And it went from 1/100th in comparison to the rate of powdered cocaine incarceration to 1 1/18. So we have to start somewhere, and where we should start is you guys calling in with your bastard success stories. 1-844-55-1.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear the success stories, the bastard success stories. Thinking of you, the Adjuster 7 just told us prisons are the new plantation. Miss Lips is, these tweets keep rolling in as fast as I can read them. Miss Lips, we are fucked up in some way. We are all fucked up in some way. We're good and we're bad. God versus the devil. And she has a great point. Sherman Lowry is back. He says, right on. Even education is controlled. When Rockefeller started the Board of Education, he did so wanting to create employees, robots. Again, family is a part of the matrix. It locks you into the system, right? Mm-hmm. And if you have a bastard and ain't nobody there to help him, we gonna make money off of him too. Because the stats say if two parents aren't there, what happens? That kid
Your
suffers.
Is predetermined to not be successful.
So either we're gonna make money off you as an employee, or we're gonna make money off of you as a prisoner.
Exactly.
844-55-1. That's the number to dial. You're listening to The Bastard Show. Jesus.
The bastard.
Straight bastards. Jay is on the line. Jay, what do you got to say? Jay?
Jay.
Hello.
Hey, Jay, how you doing?
Speak on it, homie.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I gotta say, it's definitely affecting the community. It's going to create a chain of more bastards to come, and it's just going to keep relaying, the same negative energy that's getting put out there, But like you were saying, I just called in on what y'all were talking about, but I think racism does play a part in a whole lot of stuff. Y'all were talking about food and how the prison system and the food in the cafeteria is all the same and everything, but I think that's one of the main ways they're coming at people is through the food, and it's being overlooked. But this the Bastard Show. My bad. I ain't a bastard. My brothers, you know what I'm saying? They pops was on, but my pops took them in.
Hey, man. Man, you don't know how much I appreciate this story, man. You wasn't finished. Go ahead. Finish saying it. Finish speaking on it, brother. Finish.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Hey, seriously, though?
Saying, though It takes a stronger man to take kids that ain't his, you know what I'm saying? But,
somebody got to do it.
Somebody got to do it.
And we appreciate those that do it.
Somebody got to do it. And hey, man, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you very much for that.
I have one of my Facebook friends wanting to ask Zoe a question about co-parenting.
Get at us real quick because we got callers too, so get at us.
All right. Let's see. My friend Megan Stewart says, she is in a co-parent situation with somebody she did not plan on, and she does not want to get the courts involved. Is there another way that she can go about it civilly, trying to come with a co-parenting plan with somebody?
And Veronica can chime in too. First off, whenever you're co-parenting, you got to remember, does the father live with her or no?
Nope.
Okay, so that means there's two sets of rules, right? There's rules for his house, and then there's rules for her house. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, there has to be a nexus point or a meeting ground where her rules and his rules intersect. Mm-hmm. So guess what? In a way, they got to line up. So if he could do some shit at her house, right? Mm-hmm. He should be able to do the same thing at his house. Now, listen to what I mean by that. I'm not talking about bullshit. I'm talking about disciplined rules. In other words, if you clean your room at your mama's house, you got to clean your room at your daddy's house. Mm-hmm. If you take the trash out at your mama's house, you got to take the trash out at your dad's house. And whatever rules for positive reinforcement that reinforces personal responsibility, those rules have to be shared in both households. That's what co-parenting is about. So, okay, dad ain't in the house. Dad lives over there, mom lives over there. How do you get dad involved when it's too much for mom in terms of presence? Dad got to be on call.
Got to be ready to step up.
You got to be able to I don't like step up because it has a negative connotation. Because so many sisters is always banging the step up drum. Let's just say be present.
We should say be present, but I'm going to just say, these connotations with these words, it's just like,
That's
like
what I do.
When someone says sold out, the thing about it is if you owned a furniture store and you had a sign that said sold out, you'd be in good business, right? So
we're off the plantation.
If you're not, my point is if you're not there, don't blow me up.
Blow her ass up one more time and cut the mic. And here we go. Back to my point about these reinforcement of negative terms. Like some of the negative terms that lead to single parenthood. Listen, I always tell women are the most powerful motherfuckers in the world. And whatever y'all say comes to life. If you say he ain't shit, reality is being built around those words. If you say you ain't shit like your daddy, reality is being built around those words. And I'm saying we need sisters to use different terms, because if we use a different term, we get away from the negative connotation. Step up is I'm already here on a higher level than you. You need to step up. Sometimes it's just saying I need your presence. So back to my point in that co-parenting situation, Dad, your presence matters today. We can't do it without your presence. You know who has a great record that speaks of presence?
Who's that?
Jill Scott. What was that record? We Need You, I Need You, where she was talking about, I can kill a spider if I want to, but I need you.
But Jill Scott's also a single parent.
But listen, that's okay. That's okay. I can raise this kid, but it would be better if you help me. Do you understand? We need that kind of positive reinforcement. Hold on, Whitney, 1 second. Hold that thought. Write it down really quickly. Big Bird, you're on the line right now. Big Beard, Big Black Beard is on the line right now. The phone lines is crazy. Holla at me.
What's going on, bro? What's happening?
What's up, brother?
How you guys doing?
All right,
you know we turned up right now.
This is amazing, man. I love you guys, man. Listen to y'all every chance I get. I'll try to be real brief, man, but I got my own little bastard success story. I figured I'd go ahead and share it. My mom, she had some thought-like tendencies. She had 3 different kids, 3 different daddies. Nobody was there as far as the man is concerned. But, I don't blame her. She did what she could. However, when she got upset, when she got pissed off, her response would always be, "You look just like your damn daddy." Now, my mom was an evangelist.
Wow.
So she had a lot of, she had a lot of church in her, but that never changed when it came to her being upset and how she would respond. You know what I'm saying? And I actually had issues with her, growing up, and I had issues with my father as well. But the success story is, after many years of struggling and trying to find who I am and what I am, I ain't a punk. I got a, beautiful wife, 3 gorgeous kids, man. And I tell them all the time I love them. I'm always there for them.
There it is.
I'm there for them more than just about anybody. So, I can't really say, I'm the most successful. I make, decent money. I do what I love. I would do it for free. You know what I mean? But at the same time, in my personal life is where my success really lies. That's all I just wanted to share.
Hey, man, that was good information. And let me tell you something. We got a lot of stuff happening right now. We got callers on the line. We got Twitter going crazy. The aporphist. This is a sister. This is something we really need to address. She says, at what point is just being present not enough? Now, let me explain something to you about this. This is what the society has done to our sisters. And y'all can disagree. Y'all can come in. Y'all can chime in after I make this point. There is a polar opposite of the dude who doesn't provide presents or paper. Right? There's a polar opposite to that guy. You know what he's called? He's called, I think, this brother who works in sociology. I might be wrong. This dude said it's called the silent provider. It's a dad who's in the house. I think that is what it's called. It's a dad who's home.
But just doesn't.
He pays for everything. You got your shoes, you got your backpack, you got your pens, you got your food, you got your snacks, you got everything, but you don't have him.
He's not a voice.
He's not connected to you emotionally. You feel the distance. He's in the next room, but he feels like he's 7,000 light years away. He's the silent provider. Live with a daddy like that for a while.
Mm-hmm. He might as well not be there.
So that's my point. For all of these sisters who complain about the dude who's there but doesn't have the money, you miss the purpose. That presence is a powerful currency that will resonate in that child's life for the rest of his life. Mm-hmm. And although things might not be paid for, this is no justification for that, by the way. Mm-hmm. Let me preface that. This is not saying that's okay, but what we're saying is if that's all you got, that's better than the dude who pays for everything, but you still have a gaping hole where he's supposed to be.
You know what? I want to give a shout out to the last caller because he said two key important things that lets me know that that's a serious bastard success story. He didn't get along with everything his father did or his mother did, but yet he has a job. He's in the family. He's in the home. He has 3 kids. He's there. He's present and making his presence be a present as well as financial contribution to a family. If that's not a success bastard story, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's the ideal story. Please call us in with your bastard success story. Again, we're talking about the art of raising bastards, man. This is a great show right now. This is crazy right now. 844-55-1. We got a caller out of Mexico. Orlando, you're on the phone. Oh, I'm sorry, Whitney.
Go ahead, caller. Don't worry about what I'm saying. What's up?
I love you, Whitney. What's up, man? Out of Mexico, talk to me, bro.
Yeah, I'm not even a success story. I'm just a bastard child. My mother, she's basically... you got who's in there? Is it Cheyenne and
No. Neecole is here and Whitney is here. Cheyenne is on hiatus for a minute.
Okay, Cheyenne reminds me of my mother. Love you, Whitney.
Yay!
But my mother, man, she's messing up my head, man. I just got into it with her like about 2 days ago. She talking about maybe you should have stayed in college, and I'm like, she has no idea. She has no idea what white supremacy is. And like, I'm a good writer. Like, I am a very good writer. And my professor in my writing class, he saw how bright I was, and he just made it harder for me. I was a football student. Like, he made it just harder for me, talking about, oh, he's leaving class early, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's falling asleep, shit like that. Just made it harder for me. So I just said, screw it, let's school. Now I'm out here driving trucks. I mean, I'd rather be doing this than doing school because white supremacy is the mother. I'm telling you, for real.
Wow.
How much she don't know. See, her mind is all confused with empire and all this other BS is going on TV.
So
all
maybe
she cares about is what's going on TV.
So maybe you shouldn't call it.
Don't care about.
So, brother, listen to me. Maybe you shouldn't call it white supremacy. Maybe you should call it mom supremacy.
Hey.
Maybe you needed mom,
I think it's white supremacy.
But I'm saying maybe you needed mom to be the guide to show you what those markers are so you would know how to effectively navigate in this society, in this society's infrastructure.
She don't even know. She don't even know. She don't even care.
That's why I say mom supremacy.
Trying to build a business, and she wants to work a job. I don't want to work a job. I want to own a job.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I want to own. Like, I'm trying to build a legacy. I'm trying to build something. She don't care.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? She thinks you got to have a job and all this and that. Wow. No, you don't have to have a job. Like,
wow. Listen, brother. Listen,
crazy.
man. Hey, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your call, man. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for telling the truth. What's happening?
What's up with Neecole? What's up with Neecole?
Hey,
can't hit me back.
Hey, seriously, I did. Don't worry. Me and Veronica, we putting that together right now. We gonna holler at you in a minute. Don't worry.
Caller, I was gonna say too about your mom and that situation. Keep grinding and get your business. Don't worry about her. She's taking that energy. Focus it on your business, and you'll be a success.
Wait.
Thanks for calling in. We're gonna take a quick.
No, not
No?
yet.
We're not doing it?
Because you had a point, and I want to make sure you get your point out. Tell us, Whitney.
The point is,
thank you, baby.
Don't worry about all the other BS. Focus on what you got going on, and you will be a success story yourself, sir.
It's really true.
That is, I mean, real life. Like
you telling some truth right now.
And I mean, honestly, there comes a point where, I mean, myself with having two parents, I have three parents. There comes a point in your life where you grow kind of almost smarter than your parents. To where, yeah, you can have that respect for your parent, but then at the end of the day, you have to become your own person and make your own decisions.
And Whitney, I'm going to take a quick break, but when I come back, I'm going back to Veronica and Hecka, but Whitney just smacked you in the mouth right now. I always say you're not an adult until you have your own ideas. Until you outgrow mama and daddy's hurt, until you outgrow their trauma, and you create your own thought process, you're not an adult. Listen, we got to bounce, but we'll be back at 2.2, The Bastard Show. Call me with your bastard success story. 844-55-1. Voice of Reason. Man, oh man, it's Shevitz.
Selfie stick.
Shit. Listen, too much of anything can make you an addict. You got too much wealth. Sometimes you tend to lack parenting skills because somebody else is there to parent your children for you. So in a way, the super wealthy are bastards because they don't have the interaction that they need from their parent. They're being taken care of. They're being taught by somebody else. They're being raised by somebody else. They're getting their ass wiped by somebody else, nannies and the such and the like.
Is it nanny or mammy?
There's now the cool thing is too, a woman nanny and a man nanny, so they get both.
No, I said mammy, as in back in the day in slavery when they used to have the woman come in and rear their children. It's the same. It's just a new year.
Wow. Miss Lips is on fire on Twitter right now. She said it's some evil parents out here that sabotage their children's lives, but complain that their children are losers. What? That they live in, I mean, it's a real statement, man. A lot of times, man.
This is true. You know,
it's hurtful though. Let me go to Veronica and Hecka because they're on the line. I want to make sure we integrate them. Hecka, in what ways do single parents kind of sabotage their children's lives? Hecka?
Before I even go there, Joe, I have to agree with Miss Lips. I mean, we talk about single parents and how they sabotage their children's lives, but a lot of times, children that come from homes that have mothers and fathers go out and cut up too. For instance, my son was raised in a home where both parents came home daily. We sat at the table and ate dinner together. We went to PTA meetings. His father coached the Little League football. He played basketball. But guess what?
What?
No, Hecka.
Cliffhangers.
Damn, Gina.
Look, she had us all like.
I was waiting for it. I was at the edge, like, wait for it.
I can't wait till she calls back because it's gonna be
Whitney,
some crazy.
You should have done a boom.
It was right there. Hey, Veronica, we want you to chime in while we're waiting on Hecka to call back. Oh, Hecka's back. Okay, Hecka, finish it.
Whew. Thank you.
Yes. What I was saying was he still chose to graduate high school and go off to college and show his ass. He did it with the spirit of excellence. He did.
Wow.
Now, does that mean that we were not good parenting? get parents? No, not at all. It means that he had to have an experience. He chose to have an experience, and he went out there and he had it regardless of what we had taught him. Did he come back around and straighten up after a while? Yes, he did. So I say all that to say that it has nothing to do a lot of times with the parenting, but more so about these children becoming rebellious because they're tired of not having people that understand that they did not come here to be ruled over by the parents. However, they came here to be helped on their path. The parents are here to help them, help navigate them down their path versus rule over them.
Wow,
and most
good
parents
stuff.
Don't understand that.
Good stuff,
I
Veronica.
didn't understand that when my son was in the home.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Veronica. Chime.
I'd like to. I want to give one tip, and then I have another. Later on, I can give a few tips for being a single mom because I feel like I did it pretty unconventionally and pretty radically, but got a pretty amazing result with my kids. But I would say
Veronica's story is freaking incredible. When you find out what Veronica did for her kids, it's fucking stupid. Could you tell us? Please share. I want people to know.
Yeah. So the first thing is that this whole, you talked about how words are things, thoughts are things, right? And so one of the things that parents that are parenting kids need to understand is that all the language that they use with kids are hypnotic. And so we can undermine children just by saying, you know, when you don't clean your room, you ain't shit, because you ain't shit is an embedded command, right? So one of the things that we have to begin to do is deconstruct the language that we use with our children, because we can literally hypnotize them into becoming that which we fear the most, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, when my baby daddy, when my ex-husband fell apart, he literally just fell apart and left me holding the bag with 2 children. What I did was, first of all, I had to deal with myself. So I dealt with Nachama, I dealt with other alpha males that could actually break me down into my most abundant state. So as a single mother, I could create from a state of abundance. But that means I had to discharge all of the insanity that my ex-husband had poured into me. I had to discharge that. I had to take the time to do the spiritual work. Then what I did is I designed a lane for my children. I designed a lane. I got them $1 million in fancy private school education, right, for $25,000. I just decided that they would have the best education that money could buy.
Really,
they were going to school with
really quickly, Veronica. Really quickly, because this is just such a cold piece to her story. What's the name of the school? It's one of them, some shit you ain't never heard of, foo type the schools Rockefellers go to. Yeah. Like, so what?
Right. So my kids went to $25,000 a year K-8 Marin Country Day School. My daughter went to Marin Academy, which is a $40,000 a year high school. My son went to Branson, which is a $40,000 a year high school. And then my daughter got a full $250,000 ride to Wellesley, which is where Hillary Clinton.
I went to Wellesley. I'm from Wellesley, nigga.
I did all that for $25,000 because I decided to.
Wow.
And she's a single mom.
Because I decided to. In other words, a lot of times we get so stuck by the price of something that we think we can't have it. When a woman or a man gets congruent and decides to have it and then remove any of the internal barriers to having it, then that's what I didn't know this. It just gets laid out in front of you. So because my kids were in this environment going to school with the 1/10 of the 1%, it became a lane because there were so many activities and choices, and the way that these wealthy parents raise their kids is astonishing. So my kids had a ton of choices. They could make choices about, studying engineering or producing a CD in 5th grade. They had all these choices. They were very busy inside of their choices, but because all of those choices were of their own volition, they had nothing to rebel against when they became teenagers, because they were so busy engaged in their choice. So when they got older and realized that there was a lane, they was already grown and indoctrinated and self-choosing inside of a lane that I set down. So I would say that as a single mom, and then I built a team. If you want to see the results of that, you can go to jordan-conway.com. That little website that we built for my daughter when she was going to college, that's a $300,000 website. It got her $300,000 worth of free education. But as a single mom, instead of tripping I built a virtual village around my daughter and around my son so that I wasn't left with the burden of $2 million per kid in effort and money to raise the kid.
Wow.
It's called focus.
Listen, and you can do that without being married. You can do that. See, listen, the thing that separates Veronica, this is what I call Veronica. You know, she's like a little toolbox. Her toolbox is full, and those tools are always in use. See, just because you don't have the toolbox or the tools in the toolbox doesn't mean you can't acquire that via relationship. Just think if you had a chance meeting with Veronica and you guys clicked as friends. Her toolbox becomes your toolbox.
Your network is your
See,
network.
just because your network is your net worth.
Yo.
Just because you don't know what to do right now doesn't mean fuck him. He ain't shit. He ain't about nothing. You understand what I'm saying? We like I said, these words, we will hypnotize ourselves into believing that we're a victim when we don't have to be. The very term itself, the phrase, I was wronged, this wasn't right, this isn't fair, is hypnotic. And it locks you into a type of perspective and reality when you can say some other phrases like, this too shall pass. I'm going to make this happen because I'm destined to do so. Right? A lot of people don't empower themselves because maybe they don't have the tools to do so, but this show will help you do it. This is why Veronica is on the show right now. This brother just tweeted something very powerful. He said, can a village still raise a child? Our society, America, is so fast-paced right now that people don't have very much time for other people's kids.
Well, I'll say this. I think that society has changed in a way that it's detrimental at times to referencing assisting, helping that village out with someone's child. Like recently there was a story about this lady whose child was in the store and he was acting erratic and screaming and jumping down and running all over the store. And one woman asked the woman told the child to be quiet. And when the lady left, the lady was followed out into the parking lot by the mother of the child, and she was socked in the face and two of her teeth were knocked out. This was on the news. So we have a problem with just ignorance, like you don't say anything to my child. Well, your child is acting a damn fool. And I think a lot of those core values that we were raised with, if you were raised in the 70s and the 80s and so forth, have been lost with new wave parenting in these 90s mothers and, people who feel like you can't tell my child anything. Mm-hmm. It does take a village, because if I tell your child not to run out to the middle of the street because they get hit by a car, you might want to just say thank you and shut the fuck up.
Ooh. But then again, damn, okay. just in case you run up on Neecole.
Neecole might knock your kid out. You
don't want to follow me out of a store after I've told your child to stop, acting like a fool and try and do anything unless you're trying to open my car door and help me with my groceries.
Just let me know so I can
get
this
show is
ready.
Crazy.
Putting
right
that on
now.
YouTube.
844-55-1. We want to know your story. We want to know your bastard success story. Are you a young girl who maybe lost their mother and had to be raised by dad, and dad did such a hell of a job, right, that you a cold piece of work right now? Or vice versa. If you're a young man who maybe your dad was incarcerated, maybe your dad died, and your mom just put you in such a hella position, man, you're a bastard success story. And I'm just talking about unmarried folk. I'm talking about born out of wedlock. Foster kids. Does any of that bullshit even matter? As a matter of fact, we got the homie in the studio right now. My associate producer, turn on his mic. He has a bastard success story. This is the homeboy, Chris.
What up?
Holla at me, Chris.
I'm a bastard success story. My mom, she had me when she was 16. Sophomore year of high school. So she raised me. She took a year off from school, graduated a year late. I was pretty much in her graduation.
Wow.
She actually met my stepfather when I was 2. Like they met senior year or whatever, and he stepped in and raised me, and like when I was like 6, he took it upon himself to become my father, and he joined the army.
Amazing. Mm-hmm.
And this dude looked exactly like his stepfather. It's crazy, by the way.
Amazing.
But go ahead.
He's just a darker and shorter version of me.
Oh.
But anyway, because I'm 6 foot, he's like 5'6". But yeah. So I went to high school, graduated college a year early. Moved to LA, took a leap of faith, and now I'm producing about 3 TV shows.
And you've only been in LA how long?
Like a year and a half.
Year and a half, and now where are you working at? What's going on?
Producing this show, producing Zoe's Zoe What show and Corey Holcomb's 5150 show.
Wow.
When
do you sleep?
This is a bastard success story right here. Call in right now with your bastard success story. 844-55-1.
Moms. Yes.
No, his mom ain't no joke, and she good people. They do a lot of praying over this kid, And when I first met him, I knew right off the top, I got to help this dude. He got talent. Mm-hmm. He got gifts. He's smart. He ain't talking a gang of shit. He ain't a know-it-all. And I said, guess what? I'm finna make this shit happen for you. I'm gonna introduce you to everybody that I know that can get something cracking for you. And everybody he's met has nothing but good things to say about the brother because he's well-mannered, he's respectful, and he works hard. Now, the only knock on his ass is that he does way too much. Yeah. Sometimes he spreads himself so thin that, sometimes he just gets behind on all of this shit that he's trying to do. But hey, I can't knock his hustle. He's a G. He's
That's
a peer.
awesome.
I respect him.
Thank you for sharing. That is great.
Absolutely.
And being able to go from wherever to Los Angeles and within a year be doing real things, because this is the city of where everybody's doing something but no one's doing nothing. So shout out to that.
I was born in Southwest Philadelphia.
Boom. That's my boom right there. That is crazy.
So really quickly, I want to do this real fast. Hecka, what are your 3 most important tips for a single parent raising either a boy or a girl? Because I know it varies if it's a boy or a girl or something like that. But what are your 3 most important tips to a single parent out there raising somebody by themselves?
Wow. I think the first and the most important tip for me is to help that child, try to understand how that child is wired, try to understand the path that that child has chosen, help them to travel that path. That's the first and most important. Of course, the second thing is, of course, support them in whatever decisions that they make. Don't try to rule over them, but support them. Now, my daughter and my son, both of them, they may make some decisions that I don't quite agree with. I talk to them about it, help them to understand the consequences for their actions, and then allow them to make the decision instead of forcing them to do what I feel like they need to do. Sometimes they just have to have the experience. And number 3, I think is very, very important as women are, even men, if you're single parents, not to talk down about the other parent to the children or around the children. Mm-hmm. That's very, very important.
Good stuff. Veronica.
I'm going to tell a little story, just real quick. And a friend of mine went to South Africa. He used to put on concerts all over the world, South Africa. And he read in the South African newspaper how young elephants were acting wild, the young male elephants. And so he landed, and then he had a meal, and he talked to an old man, a local, and asked him about what was happening with the elephants. And the man said, the reason is simple. All the old bulls have been hunted for tusks, and the young bulls have no models. And so I think that's true for elephants, true for our children.
Yep.
Wow.
That was, damn.
Yeah.
She punched me right in the jejunum. Really quickly, the jejunum.
Tell me what that is, because
You guys-
the young human in the building don't know what.
The young human.
I don't
that's
know
funny.
what that is about.
The jejunum. You don't remember
no.
the Will Ferrell movie?
Man,
You punched him in the jejunum.
what
Okay.
movie?
Stop it.
When was it?
Never
90?
mind.
I was like, come on,
Jesus.
man.
She's
86?
I forgot she's 2. Whitney. Whitney, please.
Okay, what did you say? 3 most important tips for single parents raising kids.
Yeah.
I would say number 1
you
is
don't even have no kids.
I do not have any
doing?
kids, but hey, man, I know some people with some kids.
Okay,
lots
cool.
of kids. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, people don't just have a kid and assume that you know everything. You don't know, so ask for help. Like Hecka was saying, be understanding of that child and the other person involved in the child's life. Just because you pushed it out in your situation don't mean it's only your decision. And then I guess the last, don't worry about what that baby is wearing, man. Worry about what you're feeding your kid. I feel like young people nowadays just want to get their child Jordans and put all these posts on Instagram. Nobody cares if your kid looked good on Instagram. When we saw him in person, he looked like one of Bebe's kids. So let's just...
So your kid is like a real live Cabbage Patch.
Real life. Like, it's an accessory. Young people use children as accessories, and it stresses me out.
Wow.
I'm just saying, don't use your child as an accessory.
Wow. Neecole.
I'm going to say instill education in your child. Pride. And...
A Leo would say pride.
Pride.
Right?
If you have some pride, you take pride in yourself and you take pride in your things. It kind of helps to shape who you are as an individual in terms of things that you will and will not do.
Agreed.
And then I'm also a big fan of respect. You respect yourself, you respect others. It bleeds out.
Word.
That's just
that
genius.
makes me the pride thing is dope.
Yeah,
I remember my dad used to tell you're a Tabor, damn it.
No,
I was like, you know what?
My father is from...
I'm going to pass this math class because he just told me that.
Absolutely. My father is from the South. And one of the things that he could not stand was for you to walk with your head down. He would always ask that you walk upright with your head up straight because that's a representation of your pride.
Wow. Good stuff.
It helps to show who you are.
What you got?
Do you know how priceless being taught not to quit is?
Absolutely.
There's no amount of money, there's no amount of provision that can trump being taught how not to quit. Because guess what? The moment you quit, you set a precedence in your life for walking away from difficult shit. If you got a daddy or a mama who taught you not to quit, do you know how ahead of the game you are just by that one thing? She or he or they said, no, you will not quit. You're ahead of the game. Yes. So that's one thing, being taught how not to be a quitter. That's a powerful lesson. Yes, that is an invaluable lesson you can learn from your mother, father, foster father, uncle, whoever. Now, parents, my tip is this. Understand that when they're babies, you are a complete dictator. You are the sole ruler of that kid's life. But as they evolve and begin to think for themselves, you have to learn how to transition and let go of the reins of dictator and become mentor. How else will they begin to test what you taught them? That is the testament of your parentage. Go out in the world and test if what I told you was true or not.
If you have...
This is my turn.
Ooh.
Cut her mic off. Neecole is on 10. Cut her off, God damn it. You know I love Neecole. Understand this, when you have children, regardless of if you're with the parent or with the father, with the mother, you guys are together, non-custodial, whatever. Please understand that that child can only succeed on a team called respect. Team respect. As soon as there's a baby involved, it's team respect. I remember my youngest son's grandmother told his mother, she said, if you don't respect his father, you can't be a good mother. You can't possibly respect your child. if you don't respect him. You might not agree with everything he does. You might not agree with his ideation, his philosophy, or whatever, but if you disrespect him, you degrade the child. The moment you have a child, you're on team respect. Right out the gate. Is that not true? Those are my tips.
Yes, I agree.
Those are my points. Everybody have final thoughts? I want to start with Neecole.
My mic's off.
Your mic's on.
She's back.
Neecole.
She's back. She is back. My final thoughts are this.
I'm going to interlope. No, I'm just kidding. That's you.
Interlope.
Go ahead.
My final thoughts are this. If you teach your kids morals and values, right, you're making the world a better place. You're helping to give hope and to always remember a little bit of hope goes a long way. It's important to know our kids so we can know sort of like the vision that we have down the road in terms of our future.
And that's great. Hey, Twitter, give me your tips too. I want to read them off before we get up out of here. 3 tips. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I need those tips. Whitney Tabor.
My final thought is your children are your legacy. When you are gone, this is the representation of you that will be left on this world. Everything.
Wow.
So make sure that I would want a great situation left after I'm gone. So, can we just get it together? That's my final thought is everybody go babysit a kid that you know is bad as hell and teach him some respect. How about that? That's my final thought.
God damn.
That is it. Let's go.
Oh, God. Final thoughts, Veronica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
That's great. I coined a term a while back when people ask me, about how I did it with my kids. I called it aspirational parenting, meaning parenting outside of what you think you can do, because I had no choice but to. And you really can do way more than you think you can. You can bring the money, you can bring the love, you can bring the nurturing, you can bring the education. We are powerful reality creators, but we got to get outside this box we've been in, and we got to blow up the box. And if you can blow up the box, then you create this amazing playground that you and your children can play in. So that's it.
Wow. Hecka, smack us in the mouth.
Okay, really quick. I want to make a statement really quick. You guys heard about the story about my son and everything. After my son had graduated and everything, I divorced my husband, and I had to raise my daughter on my own. And I took my daughter out of school, public school, and I homeschooled her for a while and allowed her to have her own voice, allowed her to see her own way, her own path. She didn't want to go to church anymore. We stopped the whole religion thing. And at this point, my daughter she just turned 16, and she's about to graduate high school, and she was just accepted into university. So I say this. I think the real deal with this whole situation was the fact that I didn't allow my son to go his own way, but I allowed my daughter to go her own way, and things ended up a lot different for her than they did him. So I'll say just allow the children to go their own way.
Wow.
That is.
Good stuff. Listen, Twitter's on fire with the last 3 tips. Give us your 3 parenting tips. Hustle Habit says, here's my 3 tips. Respect, consideration, patience. Oof.
Patience.
Yeah,
None of us,
man,
I feel like,
patience.
even touch patience.
Sometimes a lot of kids get their ass whooped because the parent is impatient for their development. Sometimes people develop at different times. Slow starters, fast starters, medium starters, late starters. Sometimes that knowledge doesn't click in until later on. So give us your 3 tips. I'm about to wrap it up, so you better hurry up. People are still chiming in with different thoughts. I want those 3 tips, but if we don't get them, let's do it like this while they're coming in. Whitney Tabor, where can they find you, honey?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Miss Tabor. That's Taber. Facebook, Whitney Tabor. Snapchat, Wit. WHITLEI. If you guys want to see all the shenanigans, follow me on Snapchat.
Neecole, where?
Neecole C at Twitter. Neecole Cockerham at Facebook.com. You love it.
I do. Cockerham.
Neecole C at Instagram as well.
Right. And Neecole's good people now. Veronica Conway, where do they get you?
Yeah, if you want, people want a free coaching session, they can email me at veronicaconway.com. I tend to be a great clarifier. And if you want to see an example of how to really build a virtual village around your child and get them everything that they need, you can go to jordan-conway.com. That's my daughter's website from a few years back. But that's a model that I created that people have taken that and run with it and gotten their kids everything. So check it out.
Good stuff. Hecka Activated. Y'all need to see Hecka Activated, celebrity, psychic, and medium. She's no joke.
Yes, if you would
endorse
like to
her.
schedule a session with me, you could visit my website at www.heka activated, just like it sounds, .com. You could also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Hecka Activated.
Wow, good stuff. I am ZoeWilliams.com. Go to my website right now. You can order coaching from me. Of course, man, I'll give you a free strategy session. Just email me, go to my website, fill out the information on the page, and I'll get an email letting me know that you want coaching. For sure, man. Try me out. I'm unconventional, but I will get you a breakthrough. First, I got to break you down to get you to your breakthrough. It's what we do. I am ZoeWilliams.com. You can follow me on Twitter at ZoeWilliams. You can follow me on Instagram at Mr. ZoeWhat. And again, right now I'm on Indiegogo, and I'm putting together a relationship roundtable that's going to cover 7 cities. I want to go 8 cities. I want to go to, I want to add Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona to the tour. The book is a book on how to break up. It's called The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Leaving a Negative Relationship. And it's an incredible show. Listen, we got to go. I appreciate you guys. Indiegogo, ZoeWhat, ZWMS, Relationship Dismount. Get at us.
We love all those bastards.
We'll be back Wednesday. Holla at you. Deuces.
Bye.